Hi, I'm Brian from Printerwise, a specialist in printers and cartridges that reduce cost. We've put together this video in response to frustration at the expense of printing and frustration at trying to find a printer that is economical to run. By far the easiest and cheapest way of reducing printing costs is to buy a printer that's economical to run, but that's easier said than done. Printers have no equivalent of a miles per gallon figure, say, that you get in a car. And if you don't know how much ink is in the cartridges, you end up buying blind, or you follow your instincts, buy a cheap printer and end up with expensive running costs. If you think my analogy with a car is rather extreme, think about this. The cost of a black cartridge in one printer can be as low as £15 or £75 for exactly the same amount of ink in another printer. Much the same cost as a tank of fuel. I would suggest that if you could save £60 on every tank of fuel, you might even consider changing your car. Now, a car costs thousands of pounds and a printer is a mere few tens of pounds to achieve the same saving. It's as basic as that. Another frustration is that the price of a printer tells you nothing about how much ink it comes with. Some printers come with high capacity cartridges and other ones have starter cartridges with minuscule amounts of ink in them. You then have to go off and buy full-size cartridges, so you're not even comparing like with like. If you don't know how much ink is in the printed cartridges, you have no way of knowing what their running costs are going to be. That information is absolutely critical and could mean the difference between £300 or £1,200 for exactly the same amount of ink over the life of the printer. Printers that use just two cartridges, and these tend to be the tempting cheap printers, waste ink. In the colour cartridge, when one colour is depleted, the cartridge is effectively finished. Any remaining ink is wasted, and remember that the colour cartridge is the expensive one. We could get caught up going through all these points, but let's focus right here on our simple comparison test to show you the difference in printers' running costs in hard cash terms. No clever use of words, no marketing jargon, no international standards that you don't understand. We're simply going to print the same documents until the cartridges in different printers are exhausted and compare the costs. So let's get on with it. This is the text we're using as the basis of our test. The amount of text is higher than the meagre 5% coverage the manufacturers use to claim page yields from their cartridges. As you can see, it is made up from a number of excerpts from two national newspapers entitled The Great Printer Ripoff, which we hope to help you avoid. Aren't you glad you don't have to sit through this part of the exercise? Okay, the print is starting to fade, so I'm going to stop there and count the number of pages that we've got from this. And now we've set the Kodak off to do the same print job. Now the Kodak printer has just stopped printing. Unlike the Canon that allowed me to print after a message saying that it was running out, it has simply stopped all printing and told me that the cartridge has to be replaced. Now it's the turn of the HP printer. Okay, the Hewlett-Packard is now stopped printing completely, so I'm going to stop at that point. These are the photographs we're using for our test. They're all being printed A4 size using the printer's best or high quality setting to give the optimal results. The same paper is being used throughout. In the Hewlett-Packard and Kodak printers, the whole colour cartridge will be finished as soon as its first colour runs out. Any remaining ink is simply wasted. To make the comparison as fair as possible, we've picked a batch of photographs without any dominant colour on them. This wastage issue does not arise with the Canon as it uses individual colour cartridges. Okay, we have a real world situation here. I'm about to start printing on the Kodak and you can hear what's happening. That is a Kodak printer trying to print a photograph. I have attempted this 10 times. I've bulked up the photo paper. I've told the printer that it's got glossy paper in it and it simply refuses to print any photographs. As far as I'm concerned, the printer is not fit for purpose. I've sent exactly the same job to the Canon with exactly the same paper and it's working perfectly. And now it's the turn of the Hewlett-Packard printer to do the photo printing. The Hewlett-Packard printer is unbelievably slow. Printing can't get much slower than this with the Hewlett-Packard. This is the output from the Canon printer, one set of cartridges, 52 A4 photographs plus 8 full-size test pages. This is the output of one set of cartridges from the Hewlett-Packard machine, that is 14 A4 photographs. This is the output from the Kodak printer, A4 photographs, 0. We hope you found this little exercise in saving money useful. If you have, perhaps you might want to give us a call. You know that you can buy with absolute confidence one of the highest quality and most economical printers you can buy in the UK. All you'll need to tell us is whether or not you want Wi-Fi, an all-in-one or a straightforward printer, and we'll dispatch a printer to you by courier. Thank you very much for watching.